Welcome to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I am your humble host, Ant, and this week we're just going to take a look at one band, one box set, and that's it. It's going to be short episode in comparison to some of the ones that I do. Before we get into the tunes, get into the music, and take a look at the vinyl, just want to do a little housekeeping as always. Please, most important thing, if you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button. If you dig the video, please share it with friends, like-minded people. Love to, have conversations about music, especially things in my collection and things that I'm passionate about. And, drop a comment. I love the conversation. So, like, share, subscribe. Most important thing is subscribing. So, talk about being a little bit on the nose. If you didn't know already, this week we're going to talk about one of my favorite bands of all time, The Police. The Police had a pretty short run as far as a band goes. They started off in the late 70s, and by 84 they were wrapped up, all right? But before they were The Police, they were these three, very different guys from different backgrounds that came together and formed probably the greatest faux punk band that ever lived. You had the founder of the band, drummer, Stuart Copeland, okay? Stu was an American, the only American in the band, and he lived abroad, okay? And his drumming style basically comes from him living abroad. Very, a lot of Middle Eastern rhythms in there. He did live in, I believe he lived in Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. There was that was a big influence on him because he was basically like an army brat. Then you have Andy Summers, okay, their guitarist. Would you believe that Andy Summers was one of the people that Mick and Keith had considered as a replacement guitarist in the Stones? Can you imagine that? Instead of Ronnie Wood having Andy Summers in the Stones, how different that would have been. I wonder if the Stones would have lasted. I wonder if he would have lasted with the Stones. But the story goes that, Andy had been on the music scene since the early 60s. He was one of the first people to greet Jimi Hendrix when Jimmy made his way to the shores over in London. He was pretty sought after guitarist. And then finally you have Sting, who started off as, a jazz musician and an English teacher. And you can tell from their lyrics, all right, especially a couple of the tunes on Synchronicity, which is the box set that we're going to be looking at this week, that, he was they're a very literate band overall. They're all excellent songwriters. Sting, definitely has a way with melody, and that carried over into, very, very successful, solo career as well. They've all done their own stuff, like I said. Stu has been in Oysterhead with Trey Anastasio, and Gizmodrome behind me with Adrian Belew, one of the greatest guitarists of all time. And there's another King Crimson connection over here with Andy Summers and Robert Fripp. They've done a couple albums together as well, and Andy's done a bunch of solo stuff, on his own. But let's take a look at this. Now, there's two configurations of this box set. I ordered both. One arrived. I'm excited. I want to show it to you. What we're going to look at today is the vinyl box set, okay? And this is The Police Synchronicity. It's basic black vinyl. It's nothing spectacular from that. The big gimmies here are all the additional tracks, and that's why I ordered both versions of it, because this is, a 4 LP set, all right? As it says here, 4 LP, front and back basically look pretty similar. If you remember when this was first released, all right, and with 40th anniversary, we're kind of stretching it because I guess they're saying 40th anniversary from when it ended, because this album, I believe, came out in 83. So that would make it the 41st anniversary, technically. But anyhow, they toured 83, 84, and they quit at the height of their fame. Not a lot of bands did that. I was not fortunate to see them during that initial run. They started off in New York in CBGBs. They started off in like the Bowery Ballroom, all these little, dive clubs, and they really built a following up organically, hitting the road hard. So what do we got to look in here? All right. First thing we have here is this folder that contains photos, all right, from that time period. All right. And these are pretty cool. These are really nice. Definitely, suitable to be framed and hung up in your music room. So there's all three of the boys there. Then we've got Mr. Summers by himself. Mr. Copeland. And, of course, Sting, all right? And, of course, he's reading Synchronicity by Young, which is, part of the literacy of the band, I would guess. They're very well read. So you have that, all right? And there's a ton more photos in this book, okay? And, softcover book, but, it's got quite a bit of information in here. I mean, some of the stuff in here, it's like every configuration of the album. There was a thing, push this up a little closer, that what they did was for the album, I think you'd have to buy, if I'm not mistaken, 36 different versions of the record or 36 different copies of the record, because although the stripes, the stripes would change, and also the pictures would change. Or actually, was it, or just the pictures? Stripes remained the same, but the pictures would change in each, and they had a ton of different pictures. And if you so desired, you'd have to get them all different versions of the LP. Same track listing, just different pictures. So that's for I'm a huge fan, but I was not that fanatical, I guess, at the age of 15 when it came out. This is a wealth of knowledge pertaining to everything Police during the Synchronicity tour and album cycle. Some great pictures of tour merch, some of the various tour designs that they had, and like when they played Day on the Green, and very cool stuff. And let's see a couple of pictures of the band, some outtakes. Here's the skeleton pics with Sting right there. And also, take a look bit at Stu and Andy's reels as well. So here's some from Stu. All right. And, Stu is a phenomenal drummer. He was actually listed as the 10th greatest drummer in rock and roll from Rolling Stone. A lot of times I'd fight you on the Rolling Stones list because they're usually not fantastic. But I definitely think that, Stewart belongs in the top 10 drummers of all time. Extremely unique rhythms, and that was one of the things about the Police that made them so great. They had all these, disparate strands that they pulled together, and it's like there was jazz in there was prog in there. They came across initially as a punk band. Definitely a lot of mysticism in their music. Just fantastic stuff. So aside from this awesome book with tons of stuff in it, let's take a look at Andy, as I promised. And, here's Andy's reel. Some photos from Andy's reel for this album packaging. Aside from the book and the large frameable photos and the nice box for everything going, of course, there's the music, all right? And with the music, you've got the original LP, okay, which has the original track listing with lyrics and liner notes and the photograph of the band as it was back in the day. And these all open from the top, okay? As usual, there's either a gatefold or something that opens on the side. These all open on the top, which is a bit different. And the rest of these, as opposed to the, the red, yellow, and blue stripe, the rest of these are black and white and gold, all right, as far as the photos go. And, here we have the additional, one of the Rarities albums. This one has Murder by Numbers, which is also on this track. Truth Hits Everybody, a remix version. Men in a Suitcase Live, which is, just frenetic and awesome. Someone to Talk To, which, goes back a while. Message in a Bottle Live. I Burn For You, which is a phenomenal track. The very disturbing, the side two kicks off with the very disturbing Once Upon a Daydream. That's a rarity. Really screwed up, messed up lyrics to that one. Tea in the Sahara Live, which is also on the Synchronicity main album. And that's based on the novel The Sheltering Sky. If you haven't read it, check it out. Every Breath You Take, just the backing track, no vocals. Roxanne, backing track. Wrapped Around Your Finger Live, excellent. And then it closes out. It starts off with Once Upon a Daydream, which is kind of bizarre and out there. And then it finishes with Every Bomb You Make. Sound familiar? Yeah, definitely. Because it's different lyrics for Every Breath You Take. And I'll tell you, I was listening to it for the first time yesterday morning, and it blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, like that song wasn't, creepy enough. It was kind of odd because a lot of people use that for their wedding song. And, when you listen to it, it's basically, very stalkerish type of vibe on there. You listen to Every Bomb You Make and you realize the gravity that they intended with that song. It takes it to a whole nother level. So, for me, that was worth this all, that in and of itself, it's worth it. Also, and we got another one. And with this, another photo of the band and track listing here. And just to show you, like I said, they're all basic black. There's nothing spectacular here. The labels, they're the Synchronicity labels, but that's it. Nothing to flip out about, So, but as far as the track listing goes on this is another one. You've got a Synchronicity alternative mix, instrumental of Synchronicity, Walking in Your Footsteps alternative mix, Oh My God alternative mix, Mother instrumental, Miss Grandenko. The last two, Mother is, I believe, a Stewart tune, and then you have Grandenko, which is Andy, if I believe. And then you have outtakes on side 2. You have Synchronicity 2 outtake, Synchronicity 2, the extended version, then the instrumental version after that, and the alternate mix of Every Breath You Take, which is pretty awesome as well. Finally, the fourth and final LP in this. That's about as simple as it gets as far as this packaging concerns. Then we got Sting with his skeleton friend. And then we have the liner notes for this album and track listing. You have here, it's alternative mixes and live stuff. You have King of Pain, alternative version and an alternative mix, Wrapped Around Your Finger, alternative mix and the instrumental version. Tea in the Sahara, alternate mix. Lock, which is another unreleased tune. Ragged Man, another unreleased tune. Goodbye Tomorrow, first time being released here. Truth It's Everybody, a remix, which was an outtake. And 2 more unreleased tunes, 3 Steps to Heaven and Rock and Roll Music. So that covers everything in this box set. And in the CD box set, which I'm anxiously awaiting on, they have more stuff. More it's live stuff, which is really cool. The Police, if you've never heard them live or seen them live, fantastic live band. It's a damn shame that they can't be forced to tour together. And to be honest with you, I think they should be locked in a room and forced to create new music together. I know that Sting has his own thing and he doesn't want to, and even though him and Stewart fight like brothers and really get on each other's nerves, they do care for each other, but they just can't seem to get into a room together and make music, which is a shame. All of us miss out. But the greatest thing about the Police was they went out on top. They have, basically a spotless track record as far as albums being released go. There's been greatest hits packages and live stuff, and, they've kept their fans busy from time to time over the years with that. And it has been, it's been great, having that stuff come out. And it was great when they went on tour back in 2009. Back in 2009, I went to see them. I believe it was 3 times, every chance I got. So instead of Every Breath You Take, every chance I got, I went and saw the Police, and it was well worth it. Phenomenal live band. It's like I said, I can't say enough. Between some of the stuff they do, which is reggae tinged and the new wave stuff, and it's something that's its own thing, and I guess that's what makes it so wonderful. And Andy Summers is a very unique guitar player. They're all very unique in their own way, and they seem to come together and make this beautiful music together. And that's why I get so pissed off that they aren't together permanently. They really should be forced to do that. But that's it. That's everything I'm going to show you this week. I did do a monster haul, an online monster haul. Dark Side Records, one of the 3 local record shops that I shop at near where I live. I have Dark Side in Poughkeepsie, and then I have Disc and Dat, and Jerosa Records, one in Bethel, Connecticut. That's Disc and Dat, and Jerosa over in Brookfield, Danbury. Got an email from Dark Side Records, and they were having a 60% off sale. Oh my God, like the Police song goes. Yeah. Things did not end well. There was and I wasn't even patient enough for them to ship it to me. I went and picked it up, but we'll get into that stuff another week. This was the big one this week. All right, this was the one I wanted to show you. I thank you for stopping in, checking my channel out, listening to me blather on about my love for Stuart, Sting, and Andy. Really awesome stuff. I would hope that the Police do more individual box sets. I would love to see Zenyatta Mondata. I would love to see a box of everything that would go into Zenyatta Mondata and additional live stuff from that tour. That's probably my favorite Police album, even above this. So that's everything. If you haven't yet, click that damn subscribe button. All right, it helps me out. I want to grow the channel. And thank you for checking it out. Drop a comment. I'll see you next week. As I always say, peace, one love, and music. I'm out.